Hello everybody and welcome back to FIFA Predicts episode 2. It's game week 2 and we got a couple of good games this week, including one big one in Spurs versus Manchester United, which looks like it's going to be a banger. But before we get into those predictions, we need to see how well FIFA did last week. Game week 1. Couple of good games there, a couple of high scoring games which I didn't expect. But let's see, did FIFA expect them? So before we do that, let me just tell you the point system. So if FIFA predicts a correct winning team, they get half a point. If they predict the correct goal difference, so for example FIFA predicts a 2-1 and it ends up being a 3-2, that is a 1 goal difference, so they get half a point. Now if FIFA predict the correct scoreline, because it's harder than it looks, they will get 2 points. So almost like the perfect prediction, unless we do goal scorers. Tell me in the comments, should we add goal scorers to the point system? So say if we predict a 1-0 Newcastle and Alexander Isak scores, should that be half a point? Tell me in the comments. So let's just jump into the first game. So Manchester City versus Burnley. FIFA predicted a 2-1 win to Manchester City. It was definitely not as close as that. It was a 3-0. So they don't get the goal difference, but they do get the correct winning team. So that is half a point for that game. Now, next game. Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. FIFA predicted a 3-2. It ended up being a 2-1. So they get the correct winning team in Arsenal, and they get the correct goal difference. So that's half a point, half a point. That is 1 point. Not bad. Next game, West Ham versus Bournemouth. FIFA predicted a 3-2 win for West Ham. It ended up being a 1-1, which I'm happy about, because in my Super 6 predictions I predicted a 1-1. It ended up being 1-1. So they get no points. No points for that game. Because they didn't predict the correct team, because they predicted a West Ham win and it drew. So that's no points and no goal difference. So there's 0 points there. Next game, Brighton versus Luton. FIFA predicted a 1-0 Brighton. It was definitely not a 1-0 Brighton. It was 4-1. So they do get half a point for the correct team, but that is it, because it was a 3 goal difference and they only predicted a 1. Next game, Fulham versus Everton. FIFA predicted a 2-1 win to Fulham. It ended up being a 1-0 win to Fulham, so they get 1 point for the correct team winning and the correct goal difference. 1 goal difference each. Next game, Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. FIFA did predict a draw for this one. They predicted a 2-2. It ended up being a 1-0 win for Crystal Palace, so they only get 1 point for that. They only get half a point, my mistake, for that, as they predicted the correct team to win but not the correct goal difference. Alright then, next game, Newcastle versus West Ham. Oh Jesus Christ, I completely forgot about this scoreline. FIFA predicted a 1-0 win for Newcastle against Aston Villa. It ended up being a 5-1. Who predicted a 5-1? So they do get half a point for predicting the correct team to win, but obviously they were nowhere near with the goal difference, so that is still only half a point. Next game, just get it up here. Brentford versus Spurs. FIFA predicted Spurs to walk away in a 3-1 win. It ended up being 2-2, so they only get 0 points for that, as they did not get the team. They did not predict the correct team because it was a draw, and they predicted a 2 goal difference. It ended up being a 0 because it was a draw. Next game, the big one, the big game, Chelsea versus Liverpool. FIFA predicted a 2-1 win to Liverpool. It ended up being a 1-1 draw. If FIFA predicted, look back at the other games for this one, it's always been a draw. So they should have predicted a draw, but they didn't. They predicted a 2-1. So that is 0 points, because, as you can see, Liverpool predicted 2-1 win for Liverpool. It ended up being a 1-1, so they don't get the correct team because it was a draw, and they don't get the correct goal difference, which was a 1 because it was a 0. Finally, the final game, Manchester United versus Wolves. This was a stressful game to watch. Manchester United won 1-0. FIFA predicted a 2-1, so they get 1 point for that. Half a point for the correct winning team in Manchester United, and half a point for the correct goal difference. 2-1, 1-0 goal difference of a 1, so that is 1 point. So total points then, let me just add them up quick. So half a point, so 1.5, 0, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 0, 0, 5 points tally total for that game week. 5 is not too bad, we don't know if that's good or bad. So yeah, that is the point system for what we're going to be doing. I might mix it up for the next one, who knows, but 5 points total for that. So let's jump into game week 2 of the predictions and see if FIFA can do better. So here we are then for the first game of game week 2. Nottingham Forest versus Sheffield United. This game kicks off in literally 7 hours. It's actually, thinking about it now, it's actually quite far away, so no idea why I mentioned that. Anyway, I've updated the teams again, so Matt Turner is in goal for Nottingham Forest. I actually forgot to put the other players in for Sheffield United. I put Tom Davies, who was actually a free agent, and he's joined. Blah blah blah. The teams are updated now, again, like they were last week. I'm going to update them every week, so if new players join, they will be in the team for the next game. So yeah, let's see if putting Matt Turner, the American Arsenal's second choice goalkeeper, in goal for Nottingham Forest makes a difference. Oh yes, it does. 3-1 win for Nottingham Forest. High scoring game to start us off. I could see this happening. I could actually see this happening. No offense, Sheffield United. Let's see if the other games are like this one. High scoring. Hopefully. Okay, second game here. Fulham versus Brentford. I actually don't know who would win this game, It's a close game. 2 very close teams. I don't know. I'll say maybe a 1-0 to Brentford, or I could see a draw. Either 1-0 to Brentford or a draw, but let's see who does FIFA think is going to win. Yep, they think the same. A close one, but Brentford to win it. Okay, then 2-1. Close game, it seems from here. Seems that Fulham, same as last game, actually. I don't know. Yeah, okay, alright. I can see that. A 2-1 win is a close game. Easy one. If you want to get points, go for a 2-1, because there's a 1 goal difference. Most games are usually a 1 goal difference, but you do get a winner. So yeah, 2-1 Brentford. I could see that. After drawing with Chelsea, Liverpool get an easy game here against Bournemouth. No offense to any Bournemouth fans here, but I'm predicting a high scoring game. Does FIFA think the same? Not really. I was thinking maybe a 3-0, maybe even a 4-0. But they only think 2. Both centre-backs to score as well. Okay then, let's jump into the next game. Wolves vs Brighton is our next game here. Wolves played pretty well last game against us, but of course, this is FIFA, and I'm kind of doing like a cup final, so it's only a one-off game. So form and home advantage isn't really a thing. But let's see who wins anyway. Okay, we have our first draw here. As you can see, it went to 120 minutes, but at the 90th minute, it was 1-1. So Brighton won, Wolves 1. I could see that. A couple of points here. Maybe even a perfect prediction. But a 1-1 seems realistic. Next game. Okay, so as I was literally about to set up the next game, Liverpool just announced that they've signed Endo from Stuttgart. So let's add him to the squad. And we've already done Liverpool, of course. Here he is. This guy. So I know they've already added him to, we've already done Liverpool, so, but he will be there for next game. Okay then, so the big game for this week, Spurs versus Manchester United. I never know who's going to win these games, but of course I want Manchester United to win as it's my team, but you never know. Come on, United. Yeah, get in there. A close one, but I'll happily take that. Get in there. Whew. I was quite nervous for this game, but we've won it anyway. Mount scores his first goal for Manchester United. But I'll take that. 2-1 against Spurs. Okay, so this game here always ends up being closer than you think. Remember that game when Newcastle were like 3-0 up against City, and then they brought it back to 3-3? What a game that was. If this game is anything like that one, and entertaining as that game, I'm all for it. Let's see. Okay then, let's see. Holy shit, it actually was 3-3 again. Of course, that was the score. It went to penalties as well. Let's have a look. Wait, Jesus Christ. They missed a lot of penalties. A lot of penalties were missed. Alright, 90 minutes, because that's what we have to do. De Bruyne in the 89th minute, so 2-2. 2-2 is the score at this game then. A draw, but you don't complain if it's 2-2. I say, man, these two teams always do play out an entertaining game. Alright, so it was a draw. What a game. I'm going to have to watch this one in real life, hopefully to be anywhere as entertaining as this. Yeah, next game. So, Aston Villa vs Everton is our next game here. Not much to say, really. Easy win for Aston Villa, I'm saying, but let's see anyway. Yep, easy. Next game. So, a bit of a London derby here. Which one's this one called? No idea. There are like 5 different London derbies in the Premier League. I understand they're all based in London, but do they all have to be derbies? I don't know. Anyway, I've switched the Chelsea team up a bit, taken Nkunku out because he's injured in real life, put a 5 back, a 5-2-3. They used to play this a bit last season, so I thought, if they were to take Nkunku out, they'll probably drop to a 5 back. And I didn't actually watch, I did watch the Chelsea game last week, but I didn't pay attention to their formation, so I'm guessing this is the formation they would play. But yeah, let's see if it makes a difference. Well, shit. I guess it did make a difference. I don't really know what to say. 3-1 West Ham. I was not expecting that. I don't think many points are going to be scored here, but it'd be funny if there is going to be points there. Let's just jump into the final game. 3-1, really? Editing Brad here. I just want to quickly say, I know Kepa Balaga has moved to Real Madrid on loan. I forgot to take him out of the squad. I'm sorry, next week he will be out of the squad, but yeah, still 3-1. Because here we are now for the final match of game week 2. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. By the way, Luton versus Burnley is postponed due to Burnley Stadium not being ready yet. I don't get why they couldn't just, switch the hosts around, make Burnley host the game. That would have given Luton plenty of time to finish off their stadium. Don't know why they didn't just do that. It didn't, saves having to postpone a game, because we know they were complaining, was it last year or whatever it was, about having to keep postponing games. So why couldn't they? No idea. Anyway, back to this game. It should be an easy win for Arsenal here. Crystal Palace are a good team, but Arsenal are Arsenal, so yeah, it should be an easy win. What the fuck? Another one. Wow, Crystal Palace. We end the week off with another shocker. Okay then, I'm all for that. Seems like they didn't really deserve it during the stats, but okay, why not? Okay, so that's it for game week 2. A couple of interesting ones there. Let's remind ourselves of FIFA's crazy predictions for this week. Okay, so FIFA has predicted Nottingham Forest to beat Sheffield United 3-1, Brentford to beat Fulham 2-1, Liverpool to beat Bournemouth 2-0, Wolves to draw with Brighton 1-1, Manchester United to beat Spurs 2-1, get in there, Manchester City to draw with Newcastle 2-2, Aston Villa to beat Everton 3-1, West Ham to somehow beat Chelsea 3-1, Crystal Palace to beat Arsenal 2-1. Okay, so that is it for FIFA Predicts episode 2. I started this at 9:30 in the morning. It is now 1:55 in the afternoon. Doesn't matter. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I will try to put episode 1 on screen for you now. YouTube Studio just doesn't work for me when it comes to doing that shit. If it doesn't work, I'll just chuck the link in the description for you. So that's it then. I will see you next week.